Hi people, it's me, Anja, my pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent reads video. The first book on this list is called Into the Light. This story is a YA contemporary thriller following a young Latinx gay main character who recently escaped from a religious cult, but now he wants to go back a year later to find his sister. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. First of all, the mystery was so thrilling. I loved the perspective and everything. This book was so good. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The romance in the modern timeline was so cute and so well developed. Like, the world building is so good. There are all trigger warnings for what you can imagine happens in a religious homophobic cult, such as homophobia, obviously, religious homophobia specifically, conversion therapy. Like, this book is so good. It's so excellent and it's so hard-hitting. I recommend this book for fans of like Orpheus Girl and other such books like that. I think this book is absolutely excellent and I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Jaden Powers and the Inheritance Magic. This story is a middle-grade fantasy following a young main character who's investigating his best friend's disappearance at his new magical academy. And honestly, I didn't like this book very much, and I shouldn't have given the author a second chance because I have previously read a book by him in 2021, but I never read the sequel. And this book is for fans of Molly the Night Brothers, of which I am not a fan of that series. And again, I never quite completed it. I never read book 3. I shouldn't have read book 2 to begin with. But anyway, I digress. Basically, for me personally, I didn't like this book very much because the world building is like often told rather than shown to you, which is one of my least favorite tropes ever. Not to say that that's like unexpected or anything like that, because most middle-grade fantasies are written like this. A big example is the Percy Jackson TV show. I really don't understand why in that show, like, the threat is named before the threat is actually happened, which makes the threat less threatening, if that makes any sense. So, like, I'm not saying that, like, the author invented this or anything like that. I'm saying that this happens all the time, and I really dislike it. But anyway, aside from that, the characters were well developed and distinct. I enjoyed the friendship. The plot was intriguing and engaging. The world building, when it was shown rather than told, was nice to see and everything. It's just that overall, I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. I won't be continuing it, so take that as you will. The next book on this list is called Splinter and Ash. This story is another middle-grade fantasy following 2 main characters who are both on a dangerous quest to save their kingdom. First of all, the world building is excellent, and most of it is shown rather than told, which makes it even more excellent and more immersive and more magical. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I really appreciate the queer and disability representation, but even as people, like, the characters didn't feel tokenized or anything like that. They felt like real, well-developed, distinct main characters. I loved their friendship together. This book is so good. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. Like I said, the world building is excellent. I'm so excited to continue this series. I believe this book is the first in a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'm so excited to see what will happen next. This book is so excellent. I just really enjoyed it so much from the beginning to the end. This book is definitely one of my favorites by this author. I think personally that they are much better at writing middle grade than they are at writing YA, if I'm being completely honest with you. But anyway, overall, this book is so good. I love the characters, I love the friendship, I love the representation. So anyway, with that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Greta. This book is a middle-grade urban fantasy, I guess, and it follows a young main character who goes on a literal transformation after being sexually assaulted. So there is a trigger warning on this book for sexual assault specifically. And honestly, I didn't like this book very much because I didn't understand the point behind Greta's, like, transformation, for lack of a better word, towards the end especially, because I just feel like after being sexually assaulted, that she deserved more closure, more healing, more space to articulate, like, what had happened to her. I feel like she just never got that chance, and she really deserved to. I don't know, maybe I just feel for her because, like, being a victim of sexual assault or survival of sexual assault, like, fucking sucks. And the ways in which, like, society often deals with it historically, with victim blaming and everything, like, girls and women and men too, like, never quite always receive the healing and the closure that they deserve, or the justice, or anything like that, which is so heartbreaking. I don't know, I digress. Anyway, with that said, I didn't love this book as much as I was really hoping to. The plot was intriguing though, so yeah, I don't really know if that makes any sense, but basically I didn't really get the point of it, so I rated it 3 stars, so take that as you will. The last book on this list is called The Poppy War. For those who don't know, this book is an adult military fantasy based around, or inspired by, rather, China's bloodiest 20th century history, and it follows a young main character who discovers that she has powers that nobody imagined that she would have, much less from a peasant upbringing. And she discovers that, like, mastering these powers might mean more to her than just surviving school. I don't know if that really makes any sense at all. I feel like that was a very vague synopsis. Since this book is so popular, I feel like maybe you've already heard the synopsis a million times. So anyway, basically, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars because I really, really enjoyed it. I think that it is so detailed and also so long. This book is so long. It took me like 2 days to read it, I think. But anyway, overall, like, the world building is excellent. It is so detail oriented, it is so immersive, and it's so well done. The characters are so well done and so well developed individually. Like, the perspectives made so much sense, the plot was so engaging, and I was so intrigued from the beginning to the end. I'm so excited to read the sequels. I think that I'm going to read them right away because I think it's best to read this trilogy back to back to back, and I will be talking about them probably in my next video, maybe. I don't know, reading this book after reading Yellowface was very interesting because I've heard that Yellowface is based around actual criticism that Rebecca has received with her work. And reading this book, I understand why some people might think that, like, the details are unnecessary and, like, too much or whatever. I think the details are perfect for the world building and for the magic and for everything. This book is so good. I love the conversation surrounding, like, the atrocities of war and genocide and the impact that it has on soldiers, and the way that, like, you can dehumanize your enemy and the ways in which your enemy views you and all of that. I don't know, I think this book is so good and it deserves all of its hype and so much more. So anyway, with that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely highly, highly recommend it. So in conclusion, I was about to complain that my September reading month has not been going very well, but I last filmed a recent reads video prior to this one 5 days ago, so maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So anyway, in conclusion, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the cheese emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!